The score is love all. Louie! Jennifer erupts as he reaches for his fifth handful of Ruffles. I'm making a really nice dinner. Get your greasy hands out of that bag. Laughing and shaking her head at me, she reaches into the bag and grabs a handful for herself, glancing over her shoulder to make sure Louie had left the room. She shushes me before I even get a laugh in. You know, she says, I had the craziest thing happen to me today at tennis. This guy who'd been on the courts way past his assigned time refused to get off when it was my team's turn. Although she claims to not take tennis seriously, she has no problem being the authoritative co-captain when her teammates needed to be. Jennifer's personality is like a tennis match. It bounces back between the two dominant sides of her personality. The nature of a serve is more authoritative, which reflects her control over certain situations. But when a serve is returned to her side of the court, the calmness and more cautious side comes out, which reminds me of the work with her patients that are new and nervous. Jennifer has a very structured way of going about things. Although Jennifer is an affable and friendly soul, she has an authoritative manner that helps her get things done. Whether it be potato chips or tennis or kids with Asperger's, Jennifer knows what it takes to handle certain situations and the level of authority that is appropriate to take. Jennifer worked her way from speech pathology to special education and eventually came to start her own business, the Talking Playhouse, which continues to be her source of practice.
The Talking Playhouse was an idea whose time had come, in the sense that there wasn't a lot of parent training happening on the peninsula, or anywhere for that matter, and I wanted to develop a private practice whereby parents could get trained to do what I do at home, which is where the true process of changing the brain actually happens, when you do it in your real life natural environment.
Being an entrepreneur and having already started a couple other businesses, this came rather easy to her. She started this business all up on her own and continued for years without any help. Although she continues to work mainly on her own, she has hired one assistant who can take over on days where Jennifer is sick or needs time with her family. This minimal help is important to her because she feels that having other employees cause more issues.
The project of managing employees is not too different than the project of having kids. You get involved in their lives, and there's a lot of management psychodynamic, which I really just didn't want to have at this time in my life.
Despite the fact that Jennifer doesn't have many employees that work at the Talking Playhouse, she does work with a variety of physicians outside her practice. She mentioned how important it is to be up to date with technology, as well as keeping in contact with other physicians who can relate to these kids to really figure out what's going on in the brain. However, it is sometimes tricky to decipher what exactly the issue is, and because of this, Jennifer really has to look at the brain from all perspectives.
And I basically explained to the dad that the dad wasn't talking to the son's brain the way the son's brain needed to be talked to, that he had a different brain, as mine's different from yours. It's not bad or good, it's just different, and that if you talk to the brain in the right way, you will get the right answers.
Jennifer began working with this student who was having organizational troubles throughout his high school career. Although many students face this challenge, this patient in Jennifer's in particular has an even harder time dealing with it due to his autism. Jennifer then explained to the dad that his son's brain had to be looked at from a different angle in order for it to process things the way a child's brain without autism does. The underlying goal of Jennifer's program is to target the parents more than the child facing social struggles. If the parents can take away the significance of implementing certain rules, manners, or even a new perspective on their child's challenges, she knows the rest will fall into place. Jennifer finds a way to speak to the brain of that particular child so he or she knows the importance of staying organized. This is not an easy job, but Jennifer is extremely passionate